Right now at 5, some Carthage High School students put their heads together as they come up with a food truck project.
We are calm, cloudy, and cold for the start of our Monday, but we have big changes coming in the next 24 hours. We're going to break it all down coming up.
And Freeman hosts a presentation on the dangers of radon and why Joplin area residents should be aware of it. Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we have a lot to discuss in the weather department this morning. Today is looking pretty good, but as we head into tomorrow and Wednesday, we've got a winter system coming in. Could be a bit of a winter storm for some of us. So let's dive right into what we've got going on. So right now, this is your day to take action across the area. We are down to the last 24 hours or so before it starts to begin across the area. In fact, if we want to get technical, we're about 29 hours out from everything starting to move into the area. We're looking between 10 and noon tomorrow. So Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear for now, but you can see the counties in that blue shade. That is a winter storm watch that goes into effect tomorrow evening and runs through Wednesday morning across the area. So let's take a look at the timing on this. As we go through today, we're seasonable and cloudy. We'll have increasing clouds. And then tomorrow morning, again, between about 10 and noon is when this will start to move in. And as you see by the evening, we just kind of get overspread with some snow across the region, and that'll hold on until the early morning hours of Wednesday. We'll have a few stray flurries late in the morning Wednesday as this system exits, and it does get cold. The latest estimates on snow totals across the area, you can see as you go off to the northwest in parts of southeast Kansas, it's a little bit less, maybe upwards of 1 to 2 inches. And as you head southeast, those totals increase. Hence why we have the winter storm watches for parts of southwest Missouri, as they could see anywhere from 5 to 6 inches, potentially upwards of 7 inches, locally higher amounts possible. So roughly along and south of I-44 is where we'll see the most snow. Now right now in Joplin, we're looking at 25 degrees. It is calm and we're doing all right, but again, clouds will increase later today. Across the region, we're not doing too bad, but cold. 23 in Iola, 19 Parsons, 18 Neodesha, 24 Miami, and 26 in Neosho. If you're traveling, your morning commute looks good. Green light, cloudy skies and cold, and a green light for the drive home, cloudy skies and cool. Kids getting on the bus, it's a cold one. Grab the coat, 27 at 7 a.m. Calm winds, a light breeze later today out of the west, 39 by 3 o'clock. We're heading for a high today of about 43 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, so seasonable. And then as we head into this evening, holding on to mostly cloudy skies down to 31 for our low. And of course, we're going to continue to track this winter storm as it moves in. We've got alert days for tomorrow and Wednesday, and we'll have the latest information through the morning and into tonight and tomorrow as we get closer to this system. So definitely be prepared, get ready for it, because winter is back and Mother Nature's reminding us harshly that it is winter time.
It is. Winter's here.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, a semi-truck overturns in Jasper County overnight. Right before 9 p.m. Sunday night, authorities responded to reports of a large truck crash near Baseline Boulevard and County Road 80. Troopers discovered the truck had left the roadway to the right, went through a barbed wire fence, and overturned in a field. The truck had been hauling just under 30,000 pounds of medical supplies headed to a manufacturing company in Kansas. The driver sustained no injuries, and crews had the roadway back open at about 11:15. Authorities have 5 escaped inmates back in custody and on their way back to the St. Francis County, Missouri jail. The first inmate, Michael Wilkins, was taken back into custody last Friday. The other 4, Lujan Tucker, Aaron Sebastian, Kelly McShawn, and Dakota Pace, have all been apprehended in Ohio. The St. Francis County Sheriff's Department continues to work with United States Marshal Service as all inmates are returned back to the Farmington Detention Center. The man charged with the murder of a missing Oklahoma 4-year-old Athena Brownfield is back in Oklahoma. Ivan Adams was arrested last week in Arizona on murder and child neglect charges in Athena's death in Cyril, Oklahoma. Alyssa Adams is also charged in the case. She faces 2 counts of child neglect. Court documents show Alyssa Adams claims to have witnessed Ivan severely beat Athena on Christmas and then leave with her body. Athena was reported missing January 10th after her sister was found alone by a postal carrier. The remains of a child were found during the investigation, but authorities have not officially confirmed they are Athena's. Well, George Washington Carver National Monument is showing off some of its findings from the Archaeological Investigations Program. After the park became established, there were some findings from the area that can show how life back then may have looked like. A lot of these items were found from the area of a cabin where George Washington Carver was alleged to be born in. Park guide Ryan O'Connell says archaeology is an important part to understanding the past.
It also allows people to see something from the past that could be underneath anyone's feet. History is always below the surface, and so this gives people an opportunity to view the past that walks right below their feet and to see artifacts from someone who is historically significant.
The presentation was also held over the weekend. On Sunday, some area residents attended a pop-up class at Artform's Gallery to create chandelier heart earrings. Kristen Gerard led the class to create these earrings that could be given as a gift or to wear for yourself for upcoming Valentine's Day. She hopes participants get inspiration from the 2-hour class to start projects like this on their own.
I want them to take away some pretty earrings to wear, but also some confidence that they could go on out and maybe make some of their own earrings based on what they've learned here. And hopefully there's 2 or 3 skills they're going to catch today.
Artform's Gallery is also hosting other workshops related to Valentine's Day. Freeman Health System held a presentation about the dangers of radon and its prevalence in the Joplin area. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless radioactive gas. It often occurs naturally in the basements of homes. Over time, it can damage a person's lungs and even cause lung cancer.
But once you know that the radon levels are high enough, the cutoff is 4 picocuries per liter of air. If the radon level is higher than that, then you can mitigate by lowering the ill effects of radon.
CDC says radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. Well, some Carthage High School marketing and culinary students put their heads together to come up with a food truck project. Marketing class students divided in 10 groups to come up with their unique, realistic food trucks. Students came up with the name, logo, menu, and design. And while a machine class created the prototype of the truck, a culinary class picked one item from the menu and created it. The high school's media class participated in the showcase as well.
We are constantly working on ways to cross-collaborate with departments in the Tech Center, and today you can see that not only do we work with culinary to create food and machining to create the trucks, but we also have our media class here today that is videoing and taking pictures and things to help produce future commercials and things for us.
This is the second year the class is doing the project. Curl says they were able to make everything a little bit bigger this year. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, are you a gamer who wants better scores? Scientists say that exercise may help you with just that. Plus, an elderly woman shoots her terminally ill husband, and she now faces multiple charges. However, it was part of what was supposed to be a murder-suicide pact. And we'll take a look at some incoming winter weather. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. So we got a lot of weather to talk about. We do have alert days going up tomorrow and Wednesday for the incoming winter storm. And again, you saw earlier, and we'll go over it again, totals anywhere in the higher amounts from 3 to 6 inches, possibly a little higher, a little further to the south. So today is the day and tomorrow morning to take action, because we're looking at this arriving roughly between 10 a.m. and noon tomorrow. So make sure you've got everything you need. Make sure you're ready to be hunkered down, especially along and south of I-44 where we could see some of the heavier snowfall totals. Right now, the Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear, and it's going to remain that way for today. Here's where we've got the winter storm watches, these dark blue counties, until 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Now, they officially go into effect tomorrow evening, but of course they're already on the map because they have been issued. And we'll probably see additional winter weather alerts go out as we head through the day and into tomorrow morning. So about 10 a.m. you can see it's right on our back door, and it starts to roll in. And by 4, we start seeing more snow. Could start even as a wintry mix, and we'll have more snow, of course, overspreading the area as we go through Tuesday Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And as we head into early Wednesday morning, we'll start getting on the back end of this system. So I think that this particular graphic here is going a little more robust on snow coverage by early Wednesday morning, but we will still see some, and we'll be left with some flurries as we head into the late morning, and then eventually that will clear on out. And we have another chance of maybe some stray flurries or so on Thursday evening. So let's talk potential snow totals across the area. As of right now, as you see in most of southeast Kansas, we're looking at maybe 1 to 3 inches. As you start heading further southeast, we get up into that 3 to 5 inch range. And then in the areas where that winter storm watch is, you can see it's anywhere from 5, possibly upwards of 7 inches of snow. So do be prepared for all of this. We're going to take a look at today and the week ahead when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back. So we've been talking about the winter storm coming in tomorrow into Wednesday. Now let's talk a little bit about today. We're at 25 in Joplin right now with calm winds. And the good news is the winds will remain calm, and they'll pick up to a light breeze a little later. Now, we're below average this morning. We got 18 Neodesha, 19 Parsons, 24 Miami, 26 Neosho Carthage, and 25 in Lamar, Nevada this morning. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line looks pretty good. You've got a green light for your morning drive as we mostly cloudy and cold to start the day, and a green light for the drive home as we hold on to mostly cloudy skies and cool conditions. So kids getting on the bus, they're going to need that jacket this morning. 27, mostly cloudy, and as they head home later today, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, 39 by 3 o'clock. Looking at about a seasonable high of around 43 degrees today. And again, we'll get some brief breaks in the clouds with some partly cloudy skies, but we are otherwise mostly cloudy, down to 31 by 8. And then we're just going to kind of hover around there. We're going to hit a low of 31. We'll be in the lower 30s and hold on to those mostly cloudy skies. We'll do weather trivia a little later. All right, so our alert days, Tuesday, Wednesday, snow starting between 10 and noon Tuesday, lasting into early Wednesday morning. Anywhere, again, for our entire area, anywhere from 1 to 7 inches, but the heaviest snow along and south of I-44. We're 40 to start the day, then 33 Wednesday. We calm down a bit for Thursday and Friday. Again, maybe some flurries out there, and then we're looking at some rain chances and 54 degrees by Saturday, if you can believe it. And then here comes the back end of that system. We drop down to 28 Saturday night, maybe a wintry mix next Sunday, 35. And we get cold yet again. Additional snow chances by next Tuesday as we hold on to the 30s. Then we'll make it up to 40 by next Wednesday. But as you can see, we could have some additional stray flurries. So as we've mentioned, winter had to return at some point. It kicked in last week, and it is coming back with a vengeance this week. So do be prepared and keep an eye on the forecast. Well, a 76-year-old woman faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, after police say she shot and killed her terminally ill husband. Police say Ellen Gilland shot 77-year-old Jerry Gilland as part of what was supposed to be a murder-suicide pact. Haley Crumbleholm walks us through the weeks leading up to the shooting and what happened next.
Daytona Beach police got the call around 11:30 for someone shot on the 11th floor of Advent Health.
Obviously, we're unsure how she brought that gun into the hospital, but this was planned.
Police Chief Jakari Young says because the husband, Jerry Gilland, was terminally ill, he and his wife, Ellen, made a pact about 3 weeks ago to go through with the murder-suicide if Jerry continued to take a turn for the worse.
Apparently, the goal was for him to do it, but he did not have the strength, so she had to carry it out for him.
Hostage negotiators spoke with Ellen Gilland for hours as neighboring rooms on the 11th floor were cleared.
This was somewhat of a logistical nightmare, which is why, again, I'm very, very proud of my team, because that 11th floor is made up of terminally ill patients. So pretty much all the patients on that floor are on ventilators.
He says they didn't have room to evacuate the entire floor, but says Gilland never left the room where the shooting happened. Chief Young says she never threatened to shoot any officers, but she never put the gun down.
So we would have to assume that, you know, if we were to rush in there or we didn't effectively communicate, that it could have turned into a shootout situation.
So they had to use a device to distract her, so she dropped the gun.
It's called a flashbang that the SWAT team uses. They use it. It just makes a loud noise. It's like a, you know, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. So they threw in a flashbang to distract her, and luckily it worked.
They also hit Gilland with a beanbag.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Should medically assisted suicide be legal? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. You can vote through our website at koamnewsnow.com/vote. You can also vote in the KOAM News Now app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a new study backs up evidence that sleep is vital for a healthy heart. Columbia University researchers examined the effects of sleep on cardiovascular health risk. This follows the American Heart Association's new addition of Sleep to Life's Simple Measures, which is a list of health factors that influence heart's well-being. Researchers found sleeping 7 to 9 hours is beneficial to cardiovascular health. Risk for heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity also increases for those who sleep shorter durations. Well, a new study says Viagra may be good for your heart. A study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine says the erectile dysfunction medication lowers heart risk in men by up to 39%. It also says it can help reduce the risk of early death. The study discovered that those who took the medication were less likely to die from heart conditions by almost 40%, that they were 17% less likely to suffer heart failure. Researchers say Viagra increases blood flow to the heart's arteries and improves overall flow throughout the body. A new study finds that an increase in a type of male birth defect could be coming from environmental factors. Washington State University study says there's a growing incident of male birth defect known as hypospadias, where the opening of the urethra is not at the tip of the penis as is normal, but on the underside of the organ. Scientists believe the disease is not DNA change driven, but a result of environmental factors such as the use of a synthetic estrogen to prevent miscarriages and premature births, and the changes can be passed down from one generation to the next. Well, it's not a baby boom, it's a baby bust. A study published in Population and Development Review suggests the U.S. fertility rate is at its lowest since the 1970s. With mothers now having 1.7 kids on average. Researchers say young people still want about as many kids as their parents, but they're having a harder time achieving life benchmarks like finding a partner or being financially stable, so they delay childbearing. U.S. Census report shows the median age of having a baby has shifted from 27 in 1990 to 30 in 2019 and confirms an overall decline in annual births over the past few decades. Well, a new HIV vaccine failed in a late-stage trial, and that's according to researchers on Wednesday. Trials for the drug Mocasio started in 2019. Around 3,900 men and transgender individuals between the ages of 18 and 60 received 4 injections over a 12-month period. The vaccine was deemed safe, but infection rates were similar between the placebo and vaccine groups. 38.4 million people live with HIV as of 2021, with still no cure. Want to get better at video games? Well, scientists say exercise more. Researchers study competitive gamers and chess players to see how 150 minutes a week of exercise affected their mental performance. The gamers saw an increase in their cognitive function, problem solving, short-term memory, and processing speed. Along with better gaming performance, the subjects also experienced an improvement to their mental well-being as a result of working out regularly. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we do have an alert day going out for tomorrow and for Wednesday for this incoming winter storm. We're looking at snow totals 3 to 6 inches in the higher areas, maybe 1 to 2 in the lower areas. We'll break down that full forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, some Carthage High School students put their heads together as they come up with a food truck project.
Take a look at the roads while you can see them, because here in about 36 hours, it's going to be a different picture. We'll break it all down coming up.
And Freeman hosts a presentation on the dangers of radon and why Joplin area residents should be aware of it.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Tanya Bott.
I'm Chris Warner. So we do have an incoming winter storm, and we're going to just kind of dive right into all of this because there's a lot to cover this morning. We do have alert days for tomorrow and Wednesday as we have this incoming winter storm. So In some areas, we could see anywhere from 3 to 6, maybe 7 inches. Other areas will get maybe 1 to 2. So we're going to take a look at all that. So right now, though, is your time to get ready for this. You have today and through tomorrow morning to prepare for the incoming winter storm. Make sure you are ready to go and be prepared to hunker down, especially if you're along and south of I-44. And you can see why. We have a winter storm watch that officially kicks in tomorrow evening, runs through Wednesday morning. And let's take a look at what we're watching here. So the snow and wintry mixed stuff expected to start moving into the area between about 10 and noon tomorrow. And as we go through the rest of Tuesday, we just kind of get overspread with some snow across the region. Some of it could be a bit on the heavy side, and it'll last into early Wednesday morning before it starts turning into some flurries and then eventually exits the area. Right now, here's what we're looking at in terms of snow totals. As you can see, most of southeast Kansas, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches. You get right along I-44 and just north of it, we're looking at 3, maybe upwards of 5 inches possible. And in the counties highlighted in the winter storm watch, that's where we could see that 5 to 6, maybe 7 inches of snowfall across the region. So be prepared for that. We're at 25 in Joplin right now. It's calm and it is clear for the time being. Clouds will increase as the day goes on. 23 in Pittsburgh, 19 Parsons, 25 Chetopa, Miami, 26 Neosho and Carthage. And at least for today, we have a green light for your morning drive. We're mostly cloudy and cold, and mostly cloudy and cool for your drive home. And kids getting on the bus, grab that jacket. It's going to be chilly. We're looking at 27 at 7 a.m. And we're going to make it up to 39 by 3 with a light westerly breeze. We're heading for a seasonable high of 43 today, again with mostly cloudy skies, and we'll stay mostly cloudy as we head into the evening, dropping back down to about 31 degrees. And then, of course, we're watching the winter weather that's going to be moving in as we head through the next roughly 36 hours or so. Technically, I guess 28 and a half hours at this point before we'll start to see some wintry weather. So it's here.
Wow.
And we knew it was going to come. We talked about it at the end of December and beginning of January when it was so mild. You know, winter's got to return at some point, and it certainly is.
Kept warning you, winter's coming.
And the good news is, despite the fact, I mean, it's going to be a lot of snow for us, but we're not looking at, you know, temperatures into the single digits or below zero. So at least it's not going to be frigid outside. It's going to be cold, but not frigid.
We can handle the snow when it's like decent.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's no fun when it's below zero.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go play out in that.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the man charged with the murder of missing 4-year-old Athena Brownfield is back in Oklahoma. Ivan Adams was arrested last week in Arizona on murder and child neglect charges in Athena's death in Cyril, Oklahoma. Alyssa Adams is also charged in the case. She faces 2 counts of child neglect. Court documents show Alyssa Adams claims to have witnessed Ivan severely beat Athena on Christmas and leave with her body. Athena was reported missing January 10th after her sister was found alone by a postal carrier. The remains of a child were found during the investigation, but authorities have not officially confirmed they are Athena's. Freeman Health System held a presentation about the dangers of radon and its prevalence in the Joplin area. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless radioactive gas that often occurs naturally in the basements of homes. Over time, it can damage a person's lungs and even cause lung cancer.
Such as sealing the cracks in the basement, in the garage, or installing a vent exhaust for radon. These are all the strategies that you could do to mitigate the radon risk.
The CDC says radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. On Sunday, some area residents attended a pop-up class at Artform's gallery to create chandelier art earrings. Kristen Gerard led the class to create these earrings that could be given as a gift or to wear for yourself for upcoming Valentine's Day. She hopes participants get inspiration from the 2-hour class to start projects like this on their own.
People can hopefully take this class and then go on out and make their own designs and make their own earrings at home, especially if you use copper wire. It's an inexpensive thing to do, and you know, get some cute earrings and some experience and get to experiment a little bit with your own art style.
Artform's gallery is also hosting other workshops related to Valentine's Day. Well, some Carthage High School students participated in a food truck project to get real experience for the future. KOAM's Yana Tula has more from the classroom.
Some Carthage High School marketing and culinary students put their heads together to come up with a food truck project.
They get to collaborate on something that could be realistic for them. Food trucks are booming, and so they're really popular, and they're able to kind of use those skills to see it come to life.
The students get judged for their semester-long project. They came up with the name, logo, menu, design, and advertisement strategies. 10 groups of marketing students partner with culinary students who picked up one item for the menu and created it, while the machining class created a prototype of the truck.
Our truck is based on the Mexico flag itself, so we use colors like green, red, and white, and black, but we use black more as an accent color. Food that our chef decided to pick was street tacos, and in the street tacos, they're made with flour tortilla, with ground beef that's seasoned to taste like asada, and we use cilantro, onions, and tomatoes.
Ordonez's favorite part was to design and paint the truck.
The school has lasers here, so they were actually able to make paper cutouts of the food truck, so it was nice just getting to color it overall.
Ordonez is not only in the contest, but is also filming it for a multimedia class.
We are constantly working on ways to cross-collaborate with departments in the Tech Center, and today you can see that not only do we work with culinary to create food and machining to create the trucks, but we also have our media class here today that is videoing and taking pictures and things to help produce future commercials and things for us.
In Carthage, Janna Haudala, KOAM News.
Curl says the goal is to add a commercial component for the food truck projects for next year. Well, this morning we're discussing medically assisted suicide.
Daytona Beach police got the call around 11:30 for someone shot on the 11th floor of Advent Health. Police are unsure how the gun made it into the hospital, but they knew it was planned.
Jerry Gilland was terminally ill, so he and his wife Ellen made a pact about 3 weeks ago to go through with a murder-suicide if Jerry continued to take a turn for the worse. The goal was for him to do it, but he didn't have the strength to do it, so his wife had to do it for him.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Should medically assisted suicide be legal? So far, 79% of you say yes, it should, and 21% of you say it should not. Make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, an Army veteran whose truck was stolen says he just wants it back, and there's no hard feelings.
Plus, residents in Turkey had to do a double take when they saw a bizarrely shaped cloud formation in the sky. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, a desperate search and rescue effort underway in Syria after a building collapses, killing over a dozen people. Five-story building gave way overnight in the northern city of Aleppo, reducing it to a massive pile of cement and debris. Dozens of first responders and residents used their hands and drills, hoping to reach victims buried in the rubble. Bulldozers were also brought in to dig through the heavy cement. At least one child was killed. Some relatives came to a nearby hospital waiting for any word about their loved ones as victims were brought in. A Romanian judge agreed to extend Andrew Tate's detainment in Romania for another 30 days as prosecutors continue to investigate the social media personality's alleged crimes. Officials charged Andrew Tate, along with his brother and 2 Romanian women, with organized crime, human trafficking, and rape back in December. The Romanian government's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism alleges that members of the organized crime group sexually exploited victims and committed, quote, acts of physical violence and mental coercion. The Tate brothers and other 2 are facing charges, tried to appeal an earlier extension of their detainment, but were denied. The Tate brothers' lawyer called this recent court extension, quote, totally unjustified. Israeli police say more than 100,000 people turned out in Tel Aviv Saturday to protest the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It's the largest showing yet in 3 weeks of demonstrations. Thousands more took to the streets in Jerusalem and other cities. Protesters opposed Netanyahu's new government and a series of planned judicial changes, which would let Parliament overturn high court decisions and give politicians more power in appointing judges. Well, in China, people rang in the Lunar New Year on Sunday, making their way back to their hometowns to celebrate with family and friends. The gatherings come at a time when there's increasing concern about the spread of the coronavirus. Health officials in China are reporting almost 13,000 new deaths caused by COVID-19, between January 13th and the 19th. And that's on top of the nearly 60,000 COVID deaths in the prior 4 weeks. Global health experts are skeptical about those numbers, saying they're extremely low by global standards. Some health experts are predicting more than 1 million people in China will die from the coronavirus this year alone. And the British-based health data firm Airfinity says COVID fatalities in China could hit 36,000 a day this week. Well, the U.S. is seeing an increase in egg smuggling across the Mexican border. That's according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Many Americans are heading down south to buy eggs, which average around $3.40 for a carton of 30. In December, the average cost of a dozen eggs in the U.S. was $4.25. Federal law bans uncooked eggs from being brought across the border, as Customs has reported a 108% increase in seized poultry products. The fine for egg smuggling can range between $300 and $10,000. Wow. Several Lebanese lawmakers continue their protests by staging a sit-in in the Parliament building. They're refusing to leave until the Speaker holds an open-ended session to elect a new president. The presidency has been vacant since former President Michel Aoun ended his 6-year term on October 30th. Dozens of demonstrators also gathered outside the Parliament building, waving flags and speaking to media. A lack of leadership in Lebanon over the past few months has stalled any progress the country was making at stopping corruption and wasteful spending. Well, no one is above the law, and that's certainly the case for British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He's been fined by police for failing to wear a seatbelt as a passenger in a moving car after posting a video in his social media. Downing Street spokesperson says he will pay the fine and has apologized. This will be the second time Mr. Sunak has been fined while holding public office. First was over lockdown breaking parties when he was finance minister. Well, 2 popular beaches in Sydney were closed Saturday after sharks attacked a dolphin. The attack was witnessed by swimmers at Manly and Shelley beaches, and that's according to Surf Life Saving New South Wales. The organization says the dolphin suffered injuries to its tail and was later euthanized. A number of sharks were spotted in the area, and that's according to a statement. Swimmers were cleared from the water, and a large community event happening at Manly Beach has been suspended. Archaeologists unearthed these crocodile mummies from a tomb in Egypt. They made the discovery during an excavation in 2019 near the city of Aswan. The tomb contained 5 skeletons and 5 skulls of large crocodiles dating back to before 304 BC. The crocs are thought to be from 2 different species. Archaeologists believe the remains were buried as part of a ritual honoring an ancient Egyptian god linked to crocodiles. Well, they're calling it Toadzilla. Yikes. Check out this monster-sized cane toad recently discovered in Australia's Conway National Park. Weighing in at nearly 6 pounds, wildlife officials believe it could be the largest toad on record. Native to South and Central America, cane toads were first introduced to Australia in 1935 as a biological control against cane beetles. However, they became invasive and noxious, species that local rangers say have had a devastating impact on native wildlife. For that reason, park officials said Toadzilla was euthanized and sent to the Queensland Museum to be studied. Ugh. Well, Turkish residents were wondering Thursday what was up with their sky. The bizarre cloud formation was seen over Bursa on Thursday. No one knew what the circular UFO-like cloud could be. Kind of looks like a rose. The country's meteorological directorate told local media that the formation was an example of lens clouds, which generally form as a result of strong wind fluctuations. Eyewitnesses say the shape remained intact for about an hour and then suddenly disappeared. Maybe it's a portal to another world. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Well, we have no otherworldly portals to worry about in our area, but we do have a winter storm watch for the counties in blue that kicks in tomorrow evening and runs through Wednesday morning. So let's talk about that winter weather. As we go through today, we're all right. We'll have increasing clouds. And then between about 10 and noon tomorrow is when we'll start to see this activity start to move into our area. Here we are Tuesday late afternoon. Start to see more snow. And as we head into Tuesday night, you guessed it, more snow. We head into Wednesday morning. some additional snow. And it will eventually start to wrap up as we head through the late morning, start turning into some flurries and light snow across the area before the system does eventually exit. So far, in terms of snow totals, this is roughly what we're looking at. For southeast Kansas, for the majority of it, we're looking at maybe 1 to 2 inches. Parts of southeast Kansas could get up to 3 to 4. And you head into this little darker blue zone, and we're looking at 3 to 5 inches. And then where we have that winter storm watch, we're looking at anywhere from 5 to possibly 7 inches of snowfall. So make sure you are prepared for this. We're at 25 in Joplin right now. It is clear, it is calm, but again, the clouds will increase as the day progresses. Temperatures across the region look like this. They're cold. 21 Chanute, 18 Neodesha, 19 Parsons, 25 Miami and Chatopa, 26 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, and 25 in Nevada. MoDOT camera I-44 and Rangeline looks good this morning, and it'll look good tomorrow morning until the snow moves in. Green light for your morning drive, mostly cloudy and cold, and a green light for your drive home, mostly cloudy and cool. So we're going to need a coat getting on the bus this morning as we're 27 and mostly cloudy at 7 a.m. We'll have calm winds through the day, 39 by 3 o'clock, heading for a seasonable high today of 43 degrees under, again, mostly cloudy skies. As we head into tonight, we drop back down to 31 and will remain mostly cloudy. So let's take a look at that 7-day real quick. So there's our alert days, Tuesday and Wednesday with the snow. 33 Wednesday. We get a break from the activity Thursday and into Friday, maybe a stray flurry or two possible. And then we head into Saturday. We get up to 54 and have rain. Overnight lows back down to 28, so this turns into a wintry mix as we head into Sunday with a high of 35. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right around the corner.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A semi-truck overturns in Jasper County overnight. Right before 9 p.m. Sunday night, authorities responded to reports of a large truck crash near Baseline Boulevard and County Road 80. Troopers discovered the truck had left the roadway to the right, went through a barbed wire fence, and overturned in a field. The truck had been hauling just under 30,000 pounds of metal supplies heading to a manufacturing company in Kansas. The driver sustained no injuries. Crews had the roadway back open at about 11:15. Authorities have 5 escaped inmates back in custody and on their way back to St. Francis County, Missouri. The first inmate, Michael Wilkins, was taken back into custody last Friday. The other 4, Lujan Tucker, Aaron Sebastian, Kelly McShawn, and Dakota Pace, have all been apprehended in Ohio. St. Francis County Sheriff's Department continues to work with United States Marshal Service as all inmates are returned back to the Farmington Detention Center. Freeman Health System held a presentation about the dangers of radon and its prevalence in the Joplin area. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless radioactive gas. It often occurs naturally in the basement of homes. Over time, it can damage a person's lungs and even cause lung cancer. Well, some Carthage High School marketing and culinary students put their heads together to come up with a food truck project. Marketing class students divided into 10 groups to come up with their unique, realistic food trucks. The students came up with the name, logo, menu, and design, while a machine class created a prototype of the truck. A culinary class picked one item from the menu and created it. The high school's media class participated in the showcase as well. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Well, an Army veteran says he just wants his truck back. The truck was stolen from outside the man's home. Bree Douglas spoke with the veteran.
I was shaken. I started having all anxiety. I was a wreck. I couldn't even call the police right away.
Even for an Army veteran who served in Korea in the 70s, the sight of his pride and joy gone from his driveway was too much to bear.
The truck meant the world to me. I feel so violated and so kind of in fear. What are they going to do next?
John's wife made the discovery after the dog started making noise in the early morning hours last week.
I think maybe they disabled the alarm, maybe opened it up with a Slim Jim, and just either drove it off or kind of pushed it up the street or something.
John had the truck for 3 years and says it was all paid off. It was his only means of transportation to his VA appointments and to pick up his medication.
I need my truck so bad. I haven't been out of the house. I feel trapped here now.
John says his truck getting stolen was one of a string of car break-ins in the neighborhood. He doesn't have ill will for whoever stole it. He just wants it back.
You broke my heart, but I don't want to cause you any problems. I don't want you in any trouble. If you could, please, in the Allenton area, just leave the truck anywhere, and the police, I know, will find it. And it'll be forgot about, no hard feelings.
Well, John says the walker he uses was also in the truck. We'll be right back with another look at your forecast.
We've got alert days as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday for this incoming winter storm. So we've got widely varying snow totals across the area, depending on where you are. So make sure you are taking action today, tomorrow morning, your last time to get ready for this system as it's set to move in between about 10 and noon tomorrow. In these dark blue counties, we've got a winter storm watch kicks in tomorrow evening and runs through Wednesday morning. And again, a quick look at when the snow and everything will start getting here between 10 and noon. It'll last through the day Tuesday, overnight, and into Wednesday morning. And as you can see with snow total, southeast Kansas a little less, maybe 1 to 2 inches. We're looking at 3 to 5 in this zone here, and then 5 to possibly 7 in this zone here. More when we come back.
Right now at 6, U.S. Marshals in Ohio apprehend 4 inmates escaped from a detention center in Missouri.
We've got an alert day for Tuesday and Wednesday as we have an incoming winter storm. We'll talk about that storm and snow possibilities coming up.
And road improvements on the way for the city of Pittsburgh. KOAM Shagun Bomadelli has an update on the progress of the East Quincy project.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 6 o'clock, and we have a winter storm getting ready to move into the area here in approximately 28 hours is when we're going to start to see the impacts of this system. So today through tomorrow morning, you need to be taking action. Make sure you're ready to be hunkered down, especially along and south of I-44 where we could see some of the heavier snow. Just make sure you're prepped, ready to go. And of course, make sure you're ready in case the kids are out of school anytime this week. Skywatch Storm Tracker is quiet now, but it's showing us these dark blue counties, and that's a winter storm watch kicking in tomorrow evening, running through Wednesday morning. And here's why. As we head into tomorrow morning, roughly between 10 and noon is where we're going to start to see this activity move into the area. And as we head into the evening and overnight hours, we will just continue to see snow all the way through early Wednesday morning before it starts to taper off to some light snow and flurries. Here's what we're looking at in terms of accumulations. Most of southeast Kansas looking at roughly 1 to 2 inches. There's that darker blue line where we could see anywhere from roughly 3 to 5 inches of snow. And as you get along and south of I-44, that's where we've got those winter storm watches. That's where we could see anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of snow, possibly some locally higher amounts. Now, right now, we are clear and calm. 24 in Joplin at this hour. It is cold across the area, a little bit below average for some of us. Say Neodesha Parsons both at 19, 23 Miami, 25 Neosho, and 26 in Carthage, Lamar, and Nevada. Now, the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline looks good this morning, and it will look good as we start tomorrow morning, but by the afternoon, it'll be a different picture. Got a green light for that morning drive as we're mostly cloudy and cold, and a green light for the drive home as we are mostly cloudy and cool. Getting on the bus this morning, going to need that coat. We're at 27 by 7 a.m. with a calm wind, and we'll have a light westerly breeze by this afternoon, up to 39 by 3 o'clock today. We are heading for a high of 43, so seasonable. We'll be mostly cloudy through the majority of the day and mostly cloudy tonight as we drop back down to about 31 for our overnight low. And as we look ahead, we got our alert days again for Tuesday and Wednesday with the snow. 40 tomorrow, 33 Wednesday. A break from the activity Thursday and Friday, maybe a stray flurry or two Friday in the evening. And then we get up to 54 by Saturday with some rain, and then we get knocked down to 28 Saturday night. So that rain will turn into a wintry mix possibly as we head into Sunday, a high of only 35 degrees. So winter is back. Winter is here with a vengeance, and we are definitely watching the winter storm that's getting ready to roll through tomorrow into Wednesday, and we'll keep you updated if any changes come. And of course, with the winter storm watch and with the other snow totals, we will very likely see additional winter weather alerts go out either later tonight or early tomorrow morning. And as they do, we'll bring you the latest.
That's right. Winter storms. For a few more hours, I can still say winter is coming.
Yeah, for a few more hours, you can technically still say winter is coming. In a sense, it's already here with our seasonable temperatures, but a big winter change is coming. Yeah, big winter change coming as we head into tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, authorities have 5 escaped inmates back in custody and on their way back to this Francis County, Missouri. First inmate, Michael Wilkins, was taken back into custody last Friday. The other 4, Lujan Tucker, Aaron Sebastian, Kelly McShawn, and Dakota Pace, have all been apprehended in Ohio. St. Francis County Sheriff's Department continues to work with the United States Marshals Service as all inmates are returned back to the Farmington Detention Center. Well, the man charged with the murder of a missing 4-year-old Athena Brownfield is back in Oklahoma. Ivan Adams was arrested last week in Arizona on murder and child neglect charges in Athena's death in Cyril, Oklahoma. Alyssa Adams is also charged in the case. She faces 2 counts of child neglect. Court documents show Alyssa Adams claims to have witnessed Ivan severely beating Athena on Christmas and then leaving with her body. Athena was reported missing January 10th after her sister was found alone by a postal carrier. The remains of a child were found during the investigation, but authorities have not officially confirmed they are Athena's. A semi-truck overturns in Jasper County overnight. Right before 9 p.m. Sunday night, authorities responded to reports of a large truck crash near Baseline Boulevard and County Road 80. Troopers discovered the truck had left the roadway to the right, went through a barbed wire fence, and overturned in a field. The truck had been hauling just under 30,000 pounds of metal supplies headed to a manufacturing company in Kansas. The driver sustained no injuries. Crews had the roadway back open at about 11:15. The City of Pittsburgh provides an update on its East Quincy Street project. They say the project is on schedule. The project is happening from around Joplin Street to Rouse Street. Improvements include a 3-lane road for 1 lane for each direction of driving with a center turning lane. There will also be dedicated left turn lanes at the Rouse intersection.
The project is on schedule. It's a multi-phase project. It was a 300-day working project. Again, it's a 300-day working project. They are on schedule. It's a big project. It's $7 million. There's a lot of work involved with this project.
The project is anticipated to be finished by August. Coming up a little later in the show, KOAM's own Shagun Bamadali takes us to Pittsburgh for a closer look at this story. Well, some Joplin residents came together for a chili cook-off on Saturday at the Empire Market. The 4th annual Chili Feed brought 8 contestants to share their chili recipes with the community. Judges and visitors both contributed to the vote for the best chilies. The competition also included a wooden spoon trophy for a contestant that uses the most market ingredients. Director of Empire Market says during the winter months, people may get out of the habit of going to the market, which is why events like this are important.
We try to come up with some kind of fun and engaging activities and events for people to remember that, we're still here, we're still open, we still have vendors who are selling produce and meat and eggs and bread, and this just is kind of an extra thing to get people to visit the market on a weekly basis.
Joplin professional firefighters placed first in the judges contest. All top 3 winners donated their winnings back to the Empire Market. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a Lunar New Year celebration ends in violence as a gunman kills 10 people and injures a dozen more in a mass shooting in California. Authorities now search for a motive. Plus, doctors now say rest may not be the best remedy for a child recovering from a concussion. We'll have the details. And Chris takes an extended look at what's shaping up to be a wild weather week for the 4 states. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the manhunt for the suspected gunman responsible for the shooting that killed 10 people during a Lunar New Year celebration in California ended yesterday. Police say he took his own life. Authorities also say there are no other outstanding suspects. Michelle Medina has the latest.
This was the dramatic scene Sunday as SWAT officers closed in on a white van where the suspect in Saturday's deadly dance studio shooting turned the gun on himself, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff. The suspect, identified as 72-year-old Hu Can Tran, died at the scene.
Sheriff's homicide detectives are working around the clock, gathering additional information and working on determining the motive behind this extremely tragic event.
This video, obtained by CBS News, shows the dance floor before the suspect opened fire late Saturday at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio's Lunar New Year celebration, killing 5 men and 5 women. Here's how one witness described the attack to KCAL News.
Did he say anything when he was shooting?
No, he just come and then hold the gun and then start to shoot.
Police say they found evidence in the white van linking the suspect to the Monterey Park shooting and another attempt at a dance studio in nearby Alhambra that was thwarted by bystanders.
I want to also commend those 2 individuals that tackled the gun away from the second incident.
Local officials say they will honor the people who stopped that second attack at a later time. But for now, the community here in Monterey Park is trying to move forward from this tragedy. Monterey Park residents gathered for prayer Sunday afternoon. The president ordered White House flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of the victims until Thursday. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Monterey Park, California.
That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about all of that here in just a couple of minutes. But first, right now, we can see the road on the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line. And this time tomorrow, we'll be able to see this road. But by noon, that could be a slightly different story. We're going to break down all of our snow chances with the incoming winter storm when we come back.
Topping Health Watch this morning, new research at UCLA finds a 4-drug chemotherapy regimen offers the best way to fight stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Many patients are currently using a 2-drug treatment, but doctors are finding better results with the more aggressive approach for people who are able to tolerate it. While most parents stay on top of regular checkups for their kids, a new poll finds many of them do not prepare properly for the doctor appointments. Researchers found a large percentage of parents do not write down questions or changes in their child's health before the WellCare visit. And researchers also recommend helping older kids come up with their own questions for the doctor. And a new study finds rest may not actually be the best way for children to recover from a concussion. Researchers say an early return to school can reduce stress for kids worried about missing too many classes. Socializing in school and maintaining a normal sleep schedule are additional reasons why going back to school can help with recovery. Is timing really everything? Maybe not when it comes to eating and weight loss. A study published this week in the Journal of the American Heart Association suggests the timing of meals may not have as big an impact on weight as once thought. Karen Kafa has a closer look.
A new study making headlines suggests a popular weight loss method may not be as effective as once thought. The study, published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, tracked the portion sizes and eating times of 547 people and data on their health and weight for 6 years. Researchers found no association between restricting eating times, like the trend of intermittent fasting, and weight loss. What the study did find effective: smaller meals. Julia Zampano, registered dietitian with the Cleveland Clinic Center for Human Nutrition, is among experts who caution the sample size of the study was small and the participants not as diverse as the larger population. She sees some benefits in limiting the timing of meals.
Intermittent fasting can decrease the amount of insulin that you produce, so it can lead to reduction in fat storage. Fasting can also help lower blood triglycerides, blood sugar. In certain cases, it can lower blood pressure and cholesterol.
Whether narrowing meal times or counting calories, Zampano says it's important to find an approach that's realistic for you.
No one likes to be told, you cannot eat, you cannot do this. So just being able to set boundaries on when you can and cannot do things can really help you attain those goals.
The U.S. Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommends focusing 85% of your food on nourishment and the rest for a little enjoyment and indulgence. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we're keeping an eye on an incoming winter storm. We do have winter storm watches for the counties highlighted in blue. They kick in tomorrow evening and run through Wednesday morning. We've been talking about it all morning long because you have today and tomorrow morning to get ready, because roughly between 10 and noon is when we're going to see this start to shift into our area. And as we head into the evening hours and overnight, we're just going to see plain old snow across the area. And some of it in some areas could be pretty heavy, especially as we saw with the watches along and south of Interstate 44. As we head into early tomorrow morning and into the late morning, we'll start to see this system exit and taper off into some light snow and flurries. So in terms of what we're anticipating for snowfall totals, for southeast Kansas, we're looking at roughly 1 to 3 inches. Then you get into this medium blue swath, and that's anywhere from 3 to potentially 5 inches of snow. And then where those watches are, which is again roughly along and south of I-44, that's where we could see 5 to potentially 7 inches of snow. Now we're at 24 in Joplin right now, clear skies and a calm wind, but those clouds will start to increase as the morning goes on. We've got 21 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, 19 Parsons, 23 Chetopa, Miami, 24 Neosho, and 25 as we start the day in Carthage. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline looks good so far. It'll look good tomorrow morning as well before changes start to come in. Green light for your morning drive, mostly cloudy and cold, and we got a green light for your drive home as we're mostly cloudy and cool. So that does mean kids will need to bundle up this morning. We're 27 at 7 a.m. with a calm breeze. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy by 3 with a light westerly breeze and 39. Seasonable high for us today of 43 degrees, and again mostly cloudy skies through the majority of today. And as we head into tonight, mostly cloudy skies continue and will drop back down to a low of 31. Now into the 7-day, again our alert days for Tuesday and Wednesday with the winter storm. 40 tomorrow to start, down to 31, then 33 Wednesday, down to 21. A break in the action for Thursday, maybe a stray flurry or two Friday evening, up to 46. 54 by this coming Saturday with rain chances building in the evening. Then we drop down to 28, so that translates to a wintry mix that could carry on into the Sunday morning. We'll only have a high of 35 by next Sunday. More of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, U.S. Marshals in Ohio apprehend 4 inmates escaped from a detention center in Missouri.
We've got calm and clear conditions for us as we start our Monday, but we have big changes coming to this forecast. We're going to break it down coming up.
And road improvements on the way for the city of Pittsburgh. KOAM Shagun Bomadelli has an update on the progress of the East Quincy project.
Starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we have an incoming winter storm. It's hard to believe. Winter really shifted back in last week and it is going to pick up this week. We have an alert day for Tuesday and Wednesday for this incoming winter storm. So today through tomorrow morning is your time to take action, get ready, be prepared for this as we are expecting some areas to pick up quite a bit of snow. We're going to take a look at that here in just a second. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear for the time being, but it's showing us these dark blue counties, and that is a winter storm watch that starts tomorrow evening, runs through Wednesday morning. There's winter storm watches along this line from western Ohio back through western Oklahoma. So this is a pretty big system that's going to be rolling through. So as we head into tomorrow, roughly between 10 and noon is when we're going to start to see this system roll on through, and we'll have snow across the areas. We head through Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into early Wednesday morning. And then eventually the snow will start to taper off and it'll become light and then just plain old flurries by late tomorrow morning. So let's talk about snow totals across the region. If you're in the lighter blue color there in southeast Kansas, that's roughly 1 to 3 inches possible. That medium blue is a 3 to 5 inch range. And then where we have those winter storm watches, you can see that's an area of anywhere from 5 to potentially 7 inches of snow and maybe some locally higher amounts as well. We're 24 as we start the day in Joplin right now, and we will have clouds building in through the day. 20 in Iola, 19 Parsons, 23 Chetopa, Miami, 24 Neosho and Lamar, and 25 in Carthage. MoDOT camera looks good this morning. It'll look good tomorrow morning, too, as we start the day. So we have a green light today. Morning drive is looking good, mostly cloudy and cold. and a green light for the drive home as we are mostly cloudy and cool. So kids will need to grab a coat getting on that bus this morning. 27 by 7 a.m. with a calm wind. And by 3, we're looking at a westerly breeze at about 5 to 10, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and 39. Heading for a seasonable high today of 43 under mostly cloudy skies for us today, and thankfully calm winds. Same this evening, mostly cloudy, and then we drop back down to 31 for our overnight low. So we look ahead. So we're up to 40 tomorrow, 33 on Wednesday, and again, alert days both those days. Get a break from the action Thursday, maybe a stray flurry or two Friday evening. Otherwise, not too bad, 46. 54 by this coming Saturday with some rain chances in the evening. And as we head into the overnight, we drop down to 28. That becomes a wintry mix that could persist into Sunday morning. High of only 35 Sunday. After that, we stay cold and we have additional winter weather chances as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So a lot to watch over the next several days, but right now our main focus is on Tuesday and Wednesday with this winter storm getting ready to roll through the area.
Yes, winter is coming today.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's on its way, and it's going to remind us it's January and it is winter.
That's right. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, authorities have 5 escaped inmates back in custody and on their way back to the St. Francis County, Missouri. The first inmate, Michael Wilkins, was taken back into custody last Friday. The other 4, Lujan Tucker, Aaron Sebastian, Kelly McShawn, and Dakota Pace, were all apprehended in Ohio. The St. Francis County Sheriff's Department continues to work with the United States Marshal Service as all inmates are returned back to the Farmington Detention Center. Freeman Health System held a presentation about the dangers of radon and its prevalence in the Joplin area. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless radioactive gas. It often occurs naturally in the basements of homes. Over time, it can damage a person's lungs and even cause lung cancer.
The number 1 cause of lung cancer is smoking still, but in non-smokers, radon is the leading cause for lung cancer. And if you consider radon-induced lung cancer as a specific entity, it still is in the top 10 list of deaths from cancers in non-smokers.
CDC says radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths every year. City of Pittsburgh provides an update on its East Quincy Street project. They say the project is on schedule. KOAM Shagun Bomadelli was there and has more.
The project is happening around Joplin Street to Rouse Street, and improvements include a 3-lane road for 1 lane each direction of driving with a center turning lane.
It takes a 2-lane road into a 3-lane with curb and gutter, improved storm sewer, great improvements at the railroad track crossing, and additional left-hand turn lanes at the intersection of Quincy and Rouse.
Bacon gives details on what the completed project will look like.
We are going to have sidewalks on both sides of this project. So from a pedestrian standpoint, there'll be walkability now through this stretch of road that connects back to Broadway and some of our other trails, and sidewalks that are actually tied into the Pitt State campus.
As construction continues on the Quincy Road, I spoke to 2 local residents who use the road on a daily basis. One who does not want to be on camera, she tells me she is excited and eagerly waiting for the road to be completed, while the other tells me how the closing of the road has negatively affected his commute time.
I drive to Joplin for work. I'm a nurse in the ICU at Freeman, and so I used to go down this road every day to get to the road to get to Joplin, and so now I'm having to cut through the neighborhood and go down by Via Christi, and so it adds probably a good 5 minutes to my commute. I mean, it's kind of on the way, but there's a lot more stoplights, so that's been a pretty big bummer for me, just because it's changed my everyday commute.
But city officials say the project is right on schedule.
The project is on schedule. It's a multi-phase project. It was a 300-day working project. Again, it's a 300-day working project. They are on schedule. It's a big project. It's $7 million. There's a lot of work involved with this project.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Shagun Bomadelli, KOAM News.
Project is anticipated to be finished by August. Well, some Southwest Missouri students are on their way to a prestigious military academy. Senior Sammy Sims is one of the 2 from Coral Junction, and she earned admission to the military academy. Her visit to the academy was one of the biggest influences to go.
and I fell in love. I loved the atmosphere there. I loved the campus. It's gorgeous. I loved the values that they have there and the education. It's a premier education, and it's all paid for. I mean, I'm gonna get to go there. I'm gonna learn about leadership. I'm gonna be pushed to my limits. It's gonna offer so many opportunities.
West Point graduates earn Bachelor of Science degrees and are commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army. And that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a farmer advocacy group calls for an investigation into the soaring cost of eggs. This as federal authorities crack down on the smuggling of eggs across the border.
And we are tracking a winter storm that's on its way to the area. We'll break down the details coming up.
In Consumer Watch this morning, a farmer advocacy group has asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate the skyrocketing cost of eggs, alleging possible price gouging or coordination among major producers. Government data shows the average price of a dozen of eggs is up 60% compared to a year ago due to a deadly avian flu outbreak. And this comes as U.S. Customs agents say they've been cracking down on the uptick in Americans trying to bring raw eggs across the southern border. Well, history is made over the weekend with James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of the Water crossing the $2 billion mark worldwide. That's according to Deadline. It's the sixth movie to ever gross $2 billion and Cameron's third. His first Avatar film and Titanic also surpassed that milestone. And it now costs 3 cents more to drop that Valentine's Day card in the mail. The price of forever stamps went from 60 cents to 63 cents starting yesterday. U.S. Postal Service announced the change back in October. This is the third price increase for forever stamps in the past 17 months. Well, it's the end of an era at Netflix as its co-CEO and co-founder Reed Hastings is stepping down. Netflix undoubtedly changed the game when it began in 1997, and years later it ushered in a new age of film and video streaming. Hastings will not be going far, as Anna Stewart reports.
It's rare that you can pinpoint a company that changed the way you did something, and for many, Netflix did just that, launching a DVD by mail business in 1997, disrupting video rental companies like Blockbuster the world over. And the man behind the vision, Reed Hastings. And now, after more than 25 years, he's stepping down as CEO. These days, Netflix faces increasing competition from the likes of Amazon Prime, Disney+, HBO Max, which, like CNN, is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, Apple TV, and many more. And last year, Netflix's growth spurt did appear to be over. Subscribers really dropped off. However, Hastings' announcement that he would be stepping down came with a stronger earnings report than many expected. Netflix added more than 7.6 million subscribers during the final 3 months of 2022, well above the 4.5 million it had projected. Popular original content has helped, such as the Addams Family spin-off Wednesday and the Harry and Meghan docu-series, which debuted with a total of more than 81 million hours watched in the first week, a record high viewing time of any documentary to debut on the streaming service. In terms of what's new for the business, well, Netflix recently launched an ad-supported subscription offering. It says engagement is better than expected already, and it also plans to start rolling out a paid sharing plan. This is to crack down on people sharing their passwords. Like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates before him, Reed Hastings may be stepping down as CEO, but he is not going far, keeping an eye on things as the new executive chairman of Netflix.
All right. That's Consumer Watch.
Yeah, we are watching a winter storm getting ready to take shape across the area. We already have winter storm watches for these counties in blue. They kick in officially tomorrow evening and run through early Wednesday morning. We're looking at snow activity starting to move into the area roughly between 10 and noon tomorrow. And then we'll be just locked in with snow as we head through Tuesday evening, the overnight, and even into Wednesday early morning. And then this system will start to taper down and exit out of here. So in terms of snow amounts, southeast Kansas, majority of it looking at maybe maybe 1 to 3 inches. This darker blue swath here is roughly 3 to 5. And as you look down where we've got the winter storm watches, we are looking at the possibility of upwards of 5 to 7 inches with some locally higher amounts possible as well. 24 in Joplin right now. We're clear, but clouds will begin to increase today. Cold start for us. We got 18 Parsons, 17 Neodesha, 21 Miami, 25 in Carthage. And let's go ahead and skip through to today. We're looking at a high of 43. It'll be mostly cloudy with calm winds. And as we head into tonight, we will be once again mostly cloudy, calm winds, dropping back down to a low of 31. Well, we know it's Monday, but we've got the perfect thing to make your Monday a little bit better. Birthdays and anniversaries. They're just around the corner. But first, we're going to see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, actor Sarah Michelle Gellar will be here to talk about her new show, Wolfpack. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Steve Hale. Specialist Hale served in the Army from 1971 to 1973. He served in Germany and in Saigon, Vietnam with the USAR 7th Army in Europe. He received the Certificate of Merit for going above and beyond the call of duty from President Nixon during his service. A native of Columbus, Kansas, we thank you, today's four-state hero, Steve Hale.
All right, as promised, time for some Monday birthdays here, and we're starting in Riverton with Hudson McDonald, who turned the big number 1 on Saturday. Happy birthday, Hudson.
All right, and Ruthie Lee Good is celebrating birthday number 2 this year in Parsons.
And we've got Ellis Guffey celebrating birthday number 4. Happy birthday, Ellis.
And in Parsons, Levi and Lucas Wells are celebrating their 8th birthday today. Happy birthday, Levi and Lucas.
And in Lamar, we've got Ksenia Ponomarova celebrating birthday number 18. Happy birthday, Ksenia.
All right, and out in Sheldon, Missouri, Kelsey Westerhold turning 34 years old. Kelsey is the current Vernon County Public Administrator.
We've also got Joshua Westerhold celebrating birthday number 34 in Sheldon. And Joshua is also a captain with the Nevada Police Department. Happy birthday.
All right, we got a belated birthday wish out in Chanute, Kansas. Last week, Mike Triber celebrated birthday number 40. The big 40 for Mike. Hope it was a great one.
And we've got Krista Bond celebrating number 39 in Humboldt with all the love in the world from your favorite father and mother-in-law. Happy birthday, Krista.
All right, and Jason Hegwald turning 44 years old. Jason is in Humboldt, Kansas. Birthday love coming from his wife, Lori.
And we've also got Christopher Hansen celebrating number 58 in Carl Junction. And he just happens to be the dad of our KOAM Morning News production assistant extraordinaire, Gabe Hansen. So a very happy birthday to Chris.
All right, and Jim and Sherry Burke are celebrating their 56th anniversary this year. Their Burkes are in Parsons, Kansas.
We've also got Joyce Coy celebrating a birthday in Columbus. Joyce is a Medical Lodges resident. Happy birthday.
In Pittsburgh, Ron Downing celebrating birthday number 76 this year.
And Lisa Lizotti celebrating a birthday in Joplin. Happy birthday and anniversary to all of you. Let's continue to grow this list, and Tanya knows exactly what you need to do.
That's right. You can send your birthdays that you'd like to have announced with all the details and pictures to birthdays@KOAMTV.com or birthdays@KOAMNewsNow.com.
And of course, while you're at our website, you can sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get some great deals from local businesses. All you need to do, and of course, a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. Just head over to KOAMNewsNow.com and sign up for the Birthday Club today. All right, coming up when we make the transition over to the Fox 14 for the KOAM Morning News, we're going to take a look at what some people are calling a dying art, cursive writing.
We all grew up learning it, but some consider cursive writing a lost art. I'm Michael George with the young students leading a cursive comeback.
And of course, that's coming up at 7 over on Fox 14. As for this morning, in these dark blue areas, we have a winter storm watch kicking in tomorrow evening through Wednesday morning because we have a winter storm on the way to the 4 states. And some of us will get some snow. Some of us will get a lot of snow. We're looking at the time anywhere between about 10 and noon is when it's going to start to roll into the area. And then as we head through Tuesday evening and overnight, we'll just have some snow. We'll have snow continuing into early Wednesday morning. And then by late morning, this system will start to exit out and we'll be left with some light snow and flurries. So for southeast Kansas, we're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow. This medium blue strip here is anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow. And we've got the winter storm watches roughly along and south of I-44. We're looking at anywhere 5 to 7 inches of snow with some locally higher amounts possible. We're at 24 in Joplin right now. Clear skies, beautiful sunrise out there on the MoDOT camera at 7th and at I-44 and Range Line. But those clouds will start to increase today. 20 in Iola, 17 Parsons, 21 Chautauqua, Miami, 24 Neosho and Lamar, and 25 in Carthage. That MoDOT camera again looks pretty good so far, and it'll look all right tomorrow morning before the system gets here. Got a green light for that morning drive, so we're mostly cloudy and cold, and a green light for your drive home as we are mostly cloudy and cool. Kids getting on the bus, bundle up. It's going to be chilly out there. 27 at 7 a.m., mostly cloudy. The calm wind. We'll have a light westerly breeze at about 5 to 10 this afternoon. Partly to mostly cloudy skies by 3 and 39. Heading for a seasonable high of about 43 degrees. Will otherwise be mostly cloudy for the majority of today. And as we head into tonight, we'll stay cloudy down to 31 for our overnight low. So we have our alert days for Tuesday and Wednesday for the winter storm that's on its way in. 40 to start the day tomorrow, 33 on Wednesday. We get a break Thursday, maybe a stray flurry or two Friday evening up to 46, 54 by Saturday with maybe some rain chances building in the evening. But here's the thing, that system's going to drop our temperatures. We're down to 28 Saturday night, which means this rain will translate into a wintry mix that could last into Sunday morning. We'll only make it up to 35 by this Sunday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A semi-truck overturns in Jasper County overnight. Right before 9 p.m. Sunday night, authorities responded to reports of a large truck crash near Baseline Boulevard and County Road 80. Troopers discovered the truck had left the roadway to the right, went through a barbed wire fence, and overturned in a field. The truck had been hauling just under 30,000 pounds of metal supplies headed to a manufacturing company in Kansas. The driver did not sustain any injuries. Crews had the roadway back open at about 11:15. Authorities have recaptured 5 escaped inmates and are now on their way back to St. Francis County, Missouri. The first inmate, Michael Wilkins, was taken back into custody last Friday. The other 4, Lujan Tucker, Aaron Sebastian, Kelly McShawn, and Dakota Pace, all been apprehended in Ohio. The St. Francis County Sheriff's Department continues to work with the United States Marshal Service as all inmates are returned back to the Farmington Detention Center. Freeman Health System held a presentation about the dangers of radon and its prevalence in the Joplin area. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless radioactive gas. It often occurs naturally in the basements of homes. Over time, it can damage a person's lungs and even cause lung cancer. Some Carthage High School marketing and culinary students put their heads together to come up with a food truck project. Marketing class students divided in 10 groups to come up with their unique, realistic food trucks. The students came up with the name, logo, menu, and design, while a machine class created a prototype of the truck. A culinary class picked one item from the menu and created it. The high school's media class participated in the showcase as well. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We've got a seasonable high of 43 degrees today. We'll be mostly cloudy through the majority of today with a calm wind. And we'll stay calm heading into tonight and cloudy as well as we drop back down to 31 for our low. We have alert days for Tuesday and Wednesday with the incoming winter storm moving into the area. So you definitely want to keep right here with KOAM. We'll keep you updated on this. Break from the activity Thursday, Friday. Rain Saturday evening turning into a wintry mix by Sunday morning.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making candy bar pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. For the first time in history, the 4 biggest U.S. cities are led by black mayors. Next on CBS Mornings, Michelle Miller sits down with 3 of them to hear of their greatest challenges as they reflect on this history-making moment.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Hunters with a Mission heads into the studio to tell us all about their mission and how you can help out.
And we are again tracking that winter storm that's going to start moving into the area late tomorrow morning. We'll break it all down for you coming up on Fox 14. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you again today at noon.